Welcome to the Love Sessions. I'm Nori, and my beautiful, delightful, magnificent, sparkly, gorgeous, amazing, genius co-host is Lilly.
Wow, there are a few new ones in there. Wow.
I had to throw some new ones in.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. You always make me feel so good.
Well, you're so special. You are amazing.
Oh,
So,
thank you. Right back at you.
How are you?
I'm really great.
Hey.
Really, really great. Yeah, things are very good. They're flowing. I like that.
Flowing. Flowing is so good.
Yes. Yes.
I love when things flow because really energy is either moving, resisting something, or stuck. So flowing is excellent.
Yeah.
Everything seems to line up when things are flowing. Communication, events. What else?
That is so true. Sometimes we're like, in that resisting or stagnant or like trying to control it, and it's just let it go.
Yeah, let it go. Huh.
Slap a smiley face on it and just go.
Slap an emoticon on it.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So I'm glad you brought that up because I've been thinking about emoticons because they are such a primary way of communication now, right? Even if you write a sentence, you usually follow it up with an emoticon.
Yeah.
And, was that born out of those sentences being misconstrued because it's hard to really interpret the tone of a text or, but it seems like as the world and life goes faster, emoticons are a more abbreviated way to communicate, right?
That is funny. It's funny that you said that about, putting the emoticon to kind of help how the sentence is interpreted or understood, because I either heard it or I read it. I can't remember. I should get my facts straight sometimes. But anyway.
Just good facts, yeah.
I know. It's just, there's stuff rolling around in my head that, it's like, oh, one day I'll use that. But I know I had heard that it was a professor, and I don't want to say an English professor, but there was a professor at a university here in the States somewhere, I think in like the 1980s or something, that he thought himself very witty, and he would post these messages like on the school bulletin board that were meant to be funny, but no one was getting the jokes. And so he was frustrated about that. I guess it never crossed his mind that maybe he just wasn't funny. But anyway, so he came up with this thing of, how now we just have the little smiley emoji thing, but when you could use the colon with the dash and the parentheses for the sideways smile.
Yes.
So he actually, I think, petitioned the university or something if he could add that to the end of his quote-unquote jokes so that the student body would know that they're supposed to laugh, that what he wrote is funny.
Wow.
And they said yes. So it was basically like what you just said, the little emoticon thing at the sentence was basically saying, this is funny, you're supposed to laugh.
Did they laugh?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I don't even
know that.
Yeah, I don't even know if his jokes were funny. But that's true, because sometimes we do write a sentence or even a fragment, because I think now when we text, we speak in fragments, and we throw that emoji or emoticon in there so to help the other person understand what we're trying to say.
Right.
But does it help?
Does it help? That's a good question. And I mean, I know that I've come to understand or decode some people's emoticons, two hearts and a praying hand and a swish, means, warm wishes, thank you, good energy, or warm wishes, I'm praying for you, good energy, So, but, it took me multiple occasions of seeing, her emoticons before I was able to interpret it. And quite frankly, that's my interpretation of it. It may be something completely different to her, you know, but I like it when I see it.
Wow. So you're saying that that's something that a particular person uses, and
All,
now you
I,
understand that that's what she means.
all the time. She uses it
Okay.
all the time, and that's how I perceive it. You know, I feel like the praying hands go between, you know, praying for you or um, or thank you, praying for you or thank you. Yeah,
Right. I was just going to say, I usually, when I see the praying hands, I usually see it as a form of saying thank you.
right,
Like the
right.
two hands together, like thank, the bowing. I see the whole image, like the whole thank you. So that's interesting. Yeah. So it is really interpretation.
It is interpretation, and so when I was thinking about them, I was thinking, hang on for a minute, I just have to reach over and turn the air conditioner a little cooler.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry. Okay. I was thinking about emoticons in reference to law of attraction. So are they, can they be used like law of attraction where you use an emoticon and it's a little bit of a stretch from what you're really feeling. Like maybe you're really feeling a smirk face, but you send a smile face. So does that does that does that uplift your mood to a smile face, or is it a white lie?
Huh. That's interesting. Is it a way of kind of, I don't know what the word is, but like suppressing your own maybe annoyance with something, where it would be a
Right.
smirky face, but you're going to be like, yeah, yeah, I'll just smile. Is it
Right.
kind of like an eye roll? I
Well, they have eye roll. I
yeah,
do use.
I just thought about that. They keep coming out with more and more and
I
more.
know. I love eye roll. That's one of my favorite. Well, it's my favorite in real life too. So, but um, yeah. So, are you? Is it people pleasing? Is it emoticon people pleasing? Like, okay, I'm feeling like, but I'm going to send you a you know, oh, lovely. When you're really like, whatever.
Right. Yeah,
It's
could be.
interesting.
Could be.
And imagine if we spoke, so related to communication, using emoticons for communication, if we spoke in emoticons, do you think it would be more accurate or more prone to miscommunication or misunderstanding?
You know, I think you could go either way with that, because I think the the younger crowd, let's say, they use more. They're more comfortable using emojis and emoticons. They can have whole conversations with them.
Right, exactly.
And I'm not just saying, the younger, like there's some older cool people that can do it too, but and they seem to be communicating just fine.
Yeah.
So I think that's really up to you and how comfortable you feel using them.
It might also have to do with your relationship with the person.
Right.
Because I feel like if I sent you an emoticon sentence, you would get it.
Well, you know what? If you sent me an emoticon sentence, I might not get it right away, but I would put in the effort to get it.
Aw, yes, you would.
Where if somebody else did, I would just be like, question mark?
That's so funny. Well, some people, do better with images. I mean, some people like when people speak in metaphors because it touches a part of their creativity, their creative understanding that's better than words. And, sometimes people use big words and you're like, well, what the heck does that mean? Your whole conversation is lost on that if they don't want to ask what it is. So I don't know. I know when I hosted the Archangels, thank you very much, Lily, the first time, my impression that I received from them was that they were going to speak to me in blocks of pictures. And And that was how I received and still receive, my information from the angels. Like I will just get a flash of a scenario, or or somebody saying something, or I'll get, a series of words, but it's always in a cluster, and I always get it. I don't ever not get it. It's interesting.
Right. Well, I was thinking about your question, and it's kind of, I'm going to say yes, we can communicate fully with them. Maybe not just yet. Maybe not all of us just yet, because like I said, I know there are people that can do it. But what if it's kind of taking us back full circle? Because I'm just thinking about like the cave drawings,
Yes.
that's how people communicated. And
Yes.
it was images that I guess you could right away, by just looking at the picture, they knew what that meant. And there was emotions. Even little kids, like, how they use, and even with adults, they use drawings to kind of,
Yes.
I don't want to say diagnose, but interpret, where some trauma might be hidden, or some difficulties might be. So the whole, I'm loving this, actually. I'm like, wow, wait a second.
It's so interesting, right?
Yes, I'm like, wow, this just opened up a door. I want to go down that hallway, because maybe it is the future.
Right, right.
And going, like I said, going full circle.
Going full circle. And to your point, when I was working, I was doing some real estate, and there was this really important deal that I wanted to happen. And normally I would write my intentions down, in words. Well, this time I went to the keyboard that has those little symbols. Mm-hmm. And I wrote my intention. I typed my intention in the symbols, and I put that piece of paper right in front of my, right on my monitor. And out of all of the intentions I've ever written, and compared to that one happened the fastest. I mean, it could be synchronicity. It could be that it didn't really happen. But those symbols to me were more powerful on some level than the words that I would write.
It makes sense. It's triggering something in my brain that just says, wow, that just makes sense. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
It definitely does. I mean, talking about the written word, I think there's really no substitution for face-to-face communication.
Yes.
Because there's so much that can be picked up there, or even just, audio. Like I do better audio. Because there's so much you can pick up. But in the written word, it's really, especially in text, there's so much that could be misunderstood.
True, in either delivery or receiving, right?
Yeah.
Because some people who like to write may, test drive a new word, and that could skew the meaning of your sentence completely, because your motive was different. Rather than really being pure in your communication, you wanted to test drive a new word because you're a writer.
Right.
So yeah. Oh, I love this.
Let's not forget autocorrect. Okay.
Oh my God. How did autocorrect learn some of the words it knows? Because I know I've not said them. I have not said them.
I don't know. But I've never experienced or heard of anybody having an emoji or emoticon autocorrected.
That's so good, Lily. That's so good.
So here's another one that just popped in my head. Wow, Nori, you really got me going here. This is good.
I love this.
How about if heading into the future of communicating with these images, emoticons, or little picture words, I guess, is an answer to dyslexia.
You know what? That's good. That's so good.
Right?
That's so good. Wow. I wonder how that works. I know it works, intuitively, but technically I'd love to know how that works on the brain.
Yeah, well, because it's going back to those early forms of communication. And even our basic forms of communication as little kids. Before we learn to write, we learn to draw.
Right.
So, and we communicate that way. So, yeah, I think
It's
there's a lot there. I mean, I think I know there's a lot of people that don't feel comfortable with emojis and get frustrated with them. I was kind of on the fence until this conversation.
that's so funny.
You know?
It's so, but they evoke feelings, right? So you're interpreting the pictures with your feelings. So it's like you're bypassing something that you would have to use in order to interpret a written word.
Right,
Interesting.
right,
So I love that because the love sessions are all about bringing love back to you. And if emojis evoke a feeling, because I was with somebody who said, "Oh, I got 3 hearts," I mean, and 3 hearts were better than 2 hearts, and 3 hearts were better than 1 heart, and that person was so excited over it, and so I think the whole emoticon thing brings feelings more into play rather than the all up into your analytical brain. I think it might be
yes,
more right-brained.
yes, yes. And I love that because communicating with our emotions is so much more important than, analyzing, being, I mean, the two work together and it's great, but we can get so lost in our minds and over analyzing things and, even like you said, trying out new words and finding the right word. And that can all get so crazy. But when you're communicating just on an emotional level, that feels so good. So good. Like
So
even someone
funny.
that might not feel comfortable in the moment, saying I love you, but they send you a heart.
Right. And what color is the heart?
Right.
Right. So is it yellow? Is it orange? Is it purple? Is it blue? Or is it red? Or is it the deep red?
Right, right. But it's I love that. I love that. So
It's
yeah, it's I think it's what feels I know it's what feels good to you. It's always what feels good to you. And right now I'm feeling really groovy about emojis. I think I'm going to start playing with them some more.
so I'm sending you like 4,000 purple hearts right now.
Yay!
Yay! Hashtag I've got to go.
See ya.
See you next time, Lil. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
It was.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
talk to you soon.